All right.
Yeah, we're here.
La-Mulana. Go for it.
Welcome to LA La-Mulana. What? I'm Timo. You may know me from the amazing TMNT run where I did absolutely nothing. And with me is Kust.
Hi. I've been around this community a long time, and that's basically my whole accomplishment with this game.
He's been around way longer than me. La-Mulana is a Metroidvania platformer about solving a lot of riddles, pushing down a lot of pedestals, and doing a whole bunch of stuff. We can just get started.
It's basically
what?
It's basically the Indiana Jones game you have always wanted as a kid, but never got because they couldn't make a proper game out of it for some reason.
Yeah, I can just get started. I'll count down.
Yeah, go whenever. It's fine.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. Finally, I reached La-Mulana. The adventure starts here. So, yeah. Boost, you can explain what's going on at the start.
Yeah. So we need to talk to this guy. He's called Alzheimerfonden, and he gives us access to the ruins. Well, you don't need him to open up the ruins, but you still need him later on. And the first thing we do is we set up for a glitch called remote shopping. The first thing you do is you get a laptop glitch where you pull out the laptop, and then you get in a glitch state where you can store shops in memory and then recall them whenever you want to. This gives us a lot of really interesting side effects. One of which is the game can crash if you push the wrong button in the menu.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a worry always. But the other thing is that we can buy items while we're not actually in the shop, which is super advantageous because at the start of the run, we need to spend, I want to say 80 or 90 coins, but we don't have them. So we can just go into the ruins and just buy the items while we are just getting money there. And that saves a lot of time and makes it easier for the money routing, because at the start of the game we need to pick up like a bunch of items just to make movement around the game easier. So for example, we need to pick up the Holy Grail, which is probably the first thing you're picking up, right?
Yeah, that's the first item I'm gonna get from the ruins.
Yeah.
Also, I just did a little venture outside of the route to get an item called the shell horn. It makes a little melody whenever I solve a puzzle or trigger a trap. That just makes it easier for everyone to keep along with what's happening, because we're gonna be solving a lot of puzzles.
Yeah, so the sound you just heard was the shell horn. We cannot explain every single puzzle in the game, because this route is basically like taking a 10-hour JRPG route and then compressing it in 1.5 hours. So there's a lot going on, we cannot explain everything, so we try to stick to kind of the important points.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Holy Grail, what it allows you to do is it basically gives you teleporting. But before you can actually teleport, you need to read these Grail tablets. We passed by one earlier, but right now we don't actually have the items to actually read. We need a hand scanner for that and a piece of software to translate the ancient text in the game. Once we have that, we can just read the Grail tablets and teleport wherever we want to go.
Yeah, we can start warping around, and we're gonna do a lot of warping around.
Yeah. One of the things we're also going to be picking up really soon is the Hermes boots. These boots will allow you to move around way quicker, and it's actually a thing that is also kind of necessary for certain glitch setups, because, well, we'll get into that once we get there, but walls are basically a suggestion. Let's keep it at that for now.
Yeah. So now I'm using remote shopping to buy. I bought translating software from the shop earlier, and I immediately equipped it there.
And then we can read this tablet. And it also gives us, anytime we pass by a drill tablet, whether it's walking or teleporting, it also makes a quick save. So if something goes wrong, we're not set back like 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, you can be set back a lot, but yeah. So in that shop I just bought the boots, and I also switched the remote shopping location, so now I'm linked to that shop instead of the shop earlier, and I'll be using that to buy weights remotely.
Yeah, because right now we're pretty low on weights, and we're gonna need about 50 to 60 over the course of the run, I think.
Oh, around there.
Oh, that's an interesting setup for that. I've never seen that.
Oh.
Yeah, so walls in this game, they're basically a suggestion, because as soon as you pick up the Hermes boots, there are a lot of places where you can get a natural alignment to basically go through them. There's something really odd going on with the collision detection. If you're a certain amount of pixels away from a wall and move like one frame into the wall, you can basically go through it. And there's a bunch of ways to actually zip up, zip down, or to the side, depending on how the wall is laid out.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of different zips, like going
Yeah.
up, going other places, going sideways. Okay, this
Here-
turn is really hard. That was pretty nice.
Yeah. So there's those platforms right there, they can actually push you through the wall. And if that happens, you basically have to go back and do the setup for going through the wall there again. And aligning to go through a wall basically means you have to bump your head against a wall that is on the left of you. Oh, coming up is a glitch called the cat paws. It was found by the Zeroth cat.
Accidentally
And-
paused Windows. Press the Windows key. Just disable that.
I was wondering,
Yeah.
did my
I
screen
thought,
just
what?
die?
I was like, what, did I crash? Oh my god.
But yeah, the cat paws, you basically pause the game while you are in the hitbox for a screen transition, while the screen transition hitbox is not active just yet. What happens then is, as soon as that hitbox transition thing becomes active, the screen just transitions, but you're still in the pause menu. And then you can unpause the game, and some of the collision just disappears. So where we picked up the knife just now, there was a thing in the way that normally has collision, but we just moved away the collision for that, and that allows us to pick up the knife there.
Now we're on the way to get the grapple claw, which lets us set up for... Okay, very interesting.
Can just
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go back.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that happens.
Yeah. When you... Wait. I am going in the right way, I was just a bit confused there. Oh yeah, I don't have the grapple claw yet. Well, this is going swimmingly. Anyway.
It happens.
Jumping in this game is pretty funny. When you jump left or right, you have very little air control. You can slow yourself down. But when you jump in place, it's called a neutral jump, and you actually gain full air control when you're going down. But if you just fall off a ledge, you'd have no air control at all. And well, I just fell off a ledge. And I have to run this whole thing again. I was actually on the green before I fell.
Another thing with jump physics in this game is that if you do a committed jump, so you jump while holding left or right, if you bump against the wall, you can actually regain air control. And that there was a setup that was used in a very old route where you jump down next to the Holy Grail and damage boost off of a bat there. And it was a really cool setup, but it's gone, unfortunately.
Yeah, that screen I did right there was really scary because the skeletons throw bones at you and you can get thrown off and you waste a lot of time getting back up.
Yeah, because when that happens, you have to circle around. Also, for this screen, we're doing a cat pulse again to pick up the axe. The axe is one of the main weapons that does a lot of damage, but it is also really slow. But it's still worth picking up.
I'm not getting this. I'm just gonna do it the regular way, whatever. The cat pulse is just a tiny bit faster, but the window for getting a cat pulse is 1 frame, so it can be a bit hard.
Especially because you have to do it out of a screen transition, which makes it kind of annoying to actually time out.
Yeah. I'm actually not gonna do the raindrop here. There was a new raindrop discovered on the screen, but it requires you to take retribution damage, which is a lot of damage.
Yeah,
so I'm just not taking that.
Retribution. There's these eyes on the wall, which you see in the top here. They basically indicate that there's something that if you attack it, you get zapped like that. And in this case, with the pyramid you saw there, basically everything in the pyramid, wherever you attack, you get zapped.
Yeah, you are not allowed to use weapons inside of that pyramid.
Yeah, and it does like 20% of your total HP damage, so it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's big damage.
Yeah.
This is the Watchtower. This is one of the most annoying platforming parts in the game.
Hey, be happy you're not playing classic La-Mulana.
Oh man, I don't wanna even imagine what the big rated
also
Michael
say
Jackson.
Hi to,
The dancing
so
man.
Michael Jackson right there, it's a reference to the Moonwalker movie. This game is actually full of references to, like, I guess 80s pop culture, I guess? But specifically Japanese pop culture, mostly. Because this game was originally released as a freeware game, and it was basically a love letter to the MSX computer in Japan, and specifically one game. And the guy who designed most of this game, he basically wanted to have more games like that, but he wanted to have them longer than they used to be. And that's how this game basically exists.
There's a dancing fish.
Yeah, that's an interesting side effect of the cat balls as well. Right there we pick up the caltrops. The caltrops are an incredible sub-weapon because
They are straight OP.
Yeah, they are. When you use them, you throw out, I think, 4 caltrops in total, and they do 3 damage each. 2. There are certain sub-bosses that do not have iframes, so we can just chuck caltrops into their face and they just melt.
Yeah, you can also use caltrops to boost down ladders, because you can't get off a ladder until you either get up or touch the ground. But with a caltrop you can just damage yourself and fall down.
Funny thing about the caltrop boosting down the ladder is that when they made La-Mulana 2, at some point on Kickstarter, the guy who basically designed the entire game, he's called Narimura. The game is named after him, by the way.
This game is also made by 3 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely
it's
insane.
It's made by 3 in total, which, given the scale of this game, is just ridiculous.
I'm gonna get rid of my remote shopping here.
Oh, yeah.
That's that. No more remote shopping for now. We're gonna do it later again, but for now I don't need to worry about my inventory management, because remote shopping can do bad stuff to you.
But yeah, about the ladders, on Kickstarter he basically said, we're gonna change the ladder physics because we feel bad for all the people who use caltrops to get down the ladders.
I didn't know.
And that's why you can jump off and on ladders in La-Mulana 2.
It feels so good.
I mean, I'll be honest, I really like the Caltrop boost.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun, but jumping up and down, like being actually able to go on ladders like a sensible person is also fun.
Yeah, so I see Void Lily in chat naming the developers, and indeed all of their names are actually in the game, because we have Naramura, which if you rearrange the letters, it basically spells La-Mulana in Japanese. Samieru is Lemeza if you rearrange it, and Duplex is basically Zelput, the guy we saw at the very start of the game, but in reverse. Right here we're buying the helmet and some weights.
Ah. I need to buy them somewhere else. I accidentally triggered the Big Brother shop.
Accidentally?
So,
I mean, we need...
I didn't want to trigger it because I wanted to buy more weights.
Ah. Yeah, so there's a puzzle here where you need to find the Big Brother shop. Well, we need to buy an item that is like very late in the game. And you do so by buying a certain amount of items from the little brother shop. Right,
that
just
puzzle
right now...
had me stuck for a bit. I was like, where is this shop?
Yeah, I mean, the translation for that puzzle isn't too great. That's part of the issue, I believe.
Just very sloppy bitches.
Yeah, they're completely RNG though, so that's fine. Just before we got to the witch's room, you saw Timo doing a trick called the pot sip, I think?
Something?
Pot flip?
Something.
There's a lot of glitch names in this game that are basically the same. But when there's a pot that is right next to a wall on the left, if you grapple just... if you do a specific height jump, and then grapple just before you hit the pot, you basically zip through it, and you can do some funny stuff with that, which is actually very useful. There's multiple instances where we actually use it to get some really early access to some really good stuff.
Yeah, mainly the strongest main weapon in the game.
Yeah.
But there's other steps involved in getting that as well, which we'll get to.
Oh man, that damage boost right there with the Caltrops, that is such a small thing, but it is so important to do that, because there's a bat on the screen right next to it. That bat will go in any of 8 directions when you get onto the screen. If he flies in your face, you fall down this tower, and that's bad news. Yeah. It's like really bad news.
Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Actually, since I'm here, I'm just gonna buy some weights.
Might as well.
Yeah, why not? It's conveniently close.
Yeah.
Right, we're on the way to fight the first boss, Elmac. We need to push this car down to get to him. Bam! Let's see if I get this little... Oh, I'm gonna attempt it twice more.
Nice.
If you pause on the same frame when you land on top of this elevator, it just zips down. No, I didn't care. Whatever.
It's a super fast way to get the platform down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elmac, he's actually technically the second boss in the game, I believe.
It depends.
But,
I fought him as the third
well,
boss, I think.
Like, if we go by the chronological order that this game has, I think
Please
he's
be merciful, I
the
did a
second
mistake.
of the...
Please. Oh, thank you, Mr. Flying Head.
Oh, he's the third one, okay, yeah. So, this game is extremely open-ended by itself, but if you add all the glitches we know about, like, you can basically... We are so extremely close to actually being able to do RBO, reverse boss order. That's how open this game is, but we're just gonna fight Elmac first, because we need to fight a boss to get access to a certain area, and this just happens to be the most convenient one for us.
Yeah, and also fighting Elmer unlocks access to Mulbrook.
Yeah.
Who gives us a very useful item, which is a nice lass.
Yeah.
Okay, Elmer
So-
is this big dude and we just wail at him with the axe.
Yep. The minecart tracks here are completely random, but with the axe, which we picked up quite a bit ago, he basically melts.
Yeah, I think it's 10 hits or something.
I honestly don't know how many
Yeah,
hits
neither
exactly.
do I. I just punch him till he dies. That was actually my fastest Elmac fight in
Nice.
a while. And we immediately just rain drop.
Right. Yeah, so here we do a raindrop, and because we're transitioning between areas, there's a little pause between the screens actually changing, and we can use that little time frame to actually move around a little bit, and that allows us to just drop into a different screen by just walking off the screen actually.
Yep. So for now Mulbrook is tired and she's just gonna sleep, so we're gonna go do some other stuff till she wakes up again and gives us an item.
Yep. So
The
this
game
game
actually has a scoring system behind it.
Yeah.
Is that what you were gonna talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the game has a score system that basically tracks your progress in like sort of story terms, I guess. And at certain amount of points, things will happen. So, for example, if you get a certain amount of points, the door to Mulbrook will open up, I believe. And well, right now she's tired, but if we pick up a few more items and visit a specific room, our point total will go up, and she will basically wake up and give us some really good stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are actually tied to this value, but the game never actually tells you what this value is. You just have to kind of know what it is.
That was pretty decent.
Yeah.
That mini boss is really scary, and this part is pretty scary in terms of health management in general.
Yeah. Yeah, that boss does a lot of contact damage, so you want to take care of him as soon as possible. He does give us a really good reward though, which is the Chakram. The Chakram is one of the sub-weapons that might not seem great right now.
Yeah,
but
in
at
my
some
casual
point-
playthrough I didn't use them almost at all. I
Yeah.
thought it was trash, but oh man,
Yeah.
the Chakram is so good.
Yeah. So the thing with the Chakram is that you get 10 of them in total, and they just fly across the screen and they come back, and you can catch them again, but they are super expensive if you actually lose them. So a lot of people think they're bad, but at some point you pick up the ring in this game, and the ring it gives a lot of extra damage to sub-weapons, and it also makes them faster. And in
With
case
the
of the
ring,
Chakram,
Yeah, it does as much
Yeah.
damage as a gun.
yeah, which is like super crazy because gun bullets in this game are super expensive unless you go to a specific shop, which is in this area, but it's way out of the way to actually buy ammunition there, and we don't really need it in the route. Right here we're gonna fight a boss called Anubis. Just now we picked up an item called the Book of the Dead, and before we pick up the Book of the Dead we cannot hurt Anubis.
And also
we had to
this
visit...
cloud does a bunch of damage without it.
Yeah.
It like melts.
Before we had to visit that room though to actually get the Book of the Dead because it triggers a conversation with Mulbrook. We're setting up remote shopping again.
And I messed it up. Well, yeah, I need to, with this dialogue, get both of my lemesses out, and now I can try again. There we go.
Yeah, so remote shopping, there's a very specific set of inputs you need to do at certain timing to actually make it work. And
Basically,
yeah, like-
what we did was I bought the gun with the first lemessa that goes into the shop, and then I put the other one on hold for the shield, and we're gonna buy the shield later to trigger some glitches. So he's on standby. My clone is on standby to buy the shield when we call to him.
So this is August. We need to pick up the Serpent Staff to actually beat him, but he is infernal. He does not have iframes, so we just chuck chakrams at him or caltrops at him, and he just melts away.
Yeah.
And we get an insanely nice reward from it, the feather, which allows us to double jump in this game, which is like super useful, like in so many ways.
This is the second boss we're fighting.
Yep.
This one
It's called
cycle.
Sakit. And yeah, there's one cycle for him.
Ooh, I got it.
Nice. And we're just gonna use the gun to finish him off.
Yeah. You can't use any sub-weapons on his face until his mask falls off.
There is actually a tiny window you can use certain sub-weapons on him, but it's like super tight, and
I didn't know
you don't
about
have
that.
the ring. Yeah, you can use the chakrams to just jump up just before it hits him, but there's no point in doing that right now because, well, we don't have the ring.
And defeating the boss of the area grants us access to the backside of the area. For this case, it's the graveyard of the giants. Oh, first try ice raindrop.
Nice. So there's a raindrop setup right there called the ice raindrop. On ice, your physics are always the same in this game, whether you have the Hermes boots or not. And there's a raindrop you can do there to get through the ground there, which basically involves grappling onto the wall, and then, oh yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah. We're doing this.
Way more important than the ice raindrop.
We said
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff happening. So.
Yeah, so this is a glitch called Save Anywhere. We basically get an obtained item pop-up, which allows us to...
I remember the input.
which allows us to open up the save menu, but also regain control while still having the save menu open. And there's a really weird thing about the save menu. The save menu will always put you at a specific X value wherever you save. And
Yeah,
it
it is
doesn't
the
matter...
X value of the Grail tablet.
Yeah.
Of the...
So,
Oh. Oh, that's fine. I did some
So,
nice moment.
yeah. You can basically go to any screen you want and save on that screen, and it will put you at whatever the X value of the tablet was. So in that particular screen, we basically used it to move ourselves into like the weapon block that has the flail whip, and the flail whip is the item we mentioned that is extremely strong. It's fast, it does a lot of damage, and it has a secret that most people don't usually find in their casual playthrough, but the backswing of it is actually really strong.
Yeah, the backswing is like one of the best things. Oh, thank God for the elevator. I hate that so
That's
much.
so lucky. So the fish we just bullied right there, that's actually the mascot of this game called Gyonin-sama.
Oh, it's a mascot? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, if you stay on that screen long enough, he will hover in midair.
What?
Yeah. We did a puzzle earlier in the Tower of the Goddess, where we filled up those sections for the. It's a bit of a weird thing, but we need to fill up the pipes in the Tower of the Goddess with water, and we do so by opening the round shields you see at the bottom here.
Yeah, I screwed up raindrop. Raindrops underwater require double the distance to get in because you move half the speed underwater, I think. So
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, so to get a raindrop there, you do a thingy, and I failed it, so I just used a different route to get into that screen.
Yeah, there's no real good backup on that screen because I think the only way you can get the alignment again is by going all the way up again and swimming is really slow.
Yeah, and water does damage to you constantly unless you get an item.
Yeah. It's actually an item we could have easily picked up, but we don't do it because it wastes time.
Yeah,
and we don't need
it's
it.
not really necessary at all. We don't then spend that much time in water.
Yeah. So coming up is Bahamut, which is a really fast boss fight, so don't blink.
Yeah, it dies fast. It's one of my favorites. Like,
Yeah.
when I played through this, I first thought this boss fight is jank. Then I thought
We're
this boss
mode
fight is
7.
amazing. Then I thought this boss fight is amazing. Now I think it's too fast.
Well, you should just run the pre-raindrop any percent route.
Yeah, use the axe, right? And flares.
Yeah, excellent flares, and it takes a long time. And the funny thing is, in that route, you would actually carry a key ferry through
Oh,
this fight
God.
to the Gate of Time. So
No.
yeah, so after beating Bahamut, we end up outside again, and we pick up another seal. The seals are used on like these shields you see on the wall, and they're basically just a key item, I guess.
Yeah, they're kind of like keys, I suppose.
Yeah.
We're gonna use one here. There we go. We broke the seal there.
But yeah, Bahamut, because we can pick up the flail whip before fighting him, he just melts away. The flail does so much damage to him that I think, was it 6 hits? Is
5 hits.
enough? 5 hits.
Yeah.
And that's without even picking up the gauntlet. So it's not even the fast whip just yet.
Yeah, we're gonna be picking up the gauntlet that increases our attack speed by a lot.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna see some whipping.
Oh yeah. The gauntlet basically makes your weapon like, I don't know, twice as fast, I think.
Something like that. It increases
it feels-
the attack speed of all the main weapons.
It kind of
feels
feels
amazing.
like twice as fast.
Funny thing is that it doesn't actually matter that much for a lot of bosses because they have iframes, but it's just so much nicer to use it.
Yeah. So right here we picked up software called Mirai, which is a software that allows us to warp to the backside trail tablets, which is pretty important coming
Yeah.
up later. Yeah. So here's the gauntlet we were talking about, and yeah, now our weapons are way faster, which for the flail whip and the knife doesn't really matter, but the axe is really slow normally, and right now if we use the axe, it's actually really nice to use because of the gauntlet.
Yeah, the axe is a lot nicer to use with the gauntlet. Too much it... I don't even remember where all the places it's used anymore, but it sees its uses.
Yeah.
Come on, can I get up? That is a fairy spot. Those spots are used to summon fairies that help you in various ways. I think there's 4 different kinds.
Yep. So there's the healing fairy, which is the most common one, and it does what it says on the tin, it heals you. Then there's also the treasure fairy, which basically triples all drops, including chakrams, funnily enough, if you throw them in a certain way. So we can basically use our own chakrams to duplicate them and get 3 chakrams out of it. Then there's the attack fairy, which is the best fairy in the game. You should totally bring her to every single screen.
Yeah, she's lovely.
And then there's the key fairy, which opens up specific, well, puzzles, I guess.
She opens doors and changes merchants at some places. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
she does all kinds of different things. I never found a use for her in my casual playthrough.
I mean, pretty much everything she opens up is optional, but right now we need a treasure fairy, which is, I think, a 15% chance of actually getting it.
Yeah, I can recognize which fairy I'm getting by the star pattern that comes on the screen.
Yep.
That was the
So
third
we've
try.
had-
Yeah. Or
We've only had healing
Yeah,
fairies
yeah.
so far, which is a 60% chance, so that's not too surprising.
that was 5, I think, or 6. Oh, there we go.
Ah, there
Not
we go.
bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's like the main source of RNG in this run. But now that we have her, she will basically triple all the drops we get. And this is a point where we basically go money farming in this game, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of coin chests and such that we haven't opened up. And they drop a lot of money normally, but now it drops 3 times as much money, which is insane. And
Yeah,
then we can
and
also...
I'm on a time limit here, so I need to do this part fast enough.
You also saw him throw a chakram through the wall there. This basically allows you to fool the game into thinking that it's actually a chakram dropped by an enemy, and this makes it so that the treasure fairy actually duplicates it.
Yeah, you
Normally
get 3,
she
I
doesn't do
think.
that.
That was scary.
Yeah,
Come on, I need one more. Okay.
nice.
The bats can drop you down there and then you're screwed. You just have to go get a new fairy. If you
Yeah,
haven't picked up money yet.
Yeah, that money chest right there is actually the main thing we really want to get while she is active. Because that money chest normally has a lot of coins.
Now it has
I don't
even
know how
more.
much. But yeah, we're gonna go on a shopping spree right now to
Yeah.
buy a lot of really good items.
Yeah, just stocking up on caltrops for pretty much the rest of the game. Also on weights for pretty much the rest of the game.
Here's a screen transition that really is super confusing, because it really does not seem like it should exist, but it does. And I don't know why.
Oh, can I get this? There you go.
So here we're gonna pick up the ring. The ring, like we said earlier, it increases the damage of sub-weapons, but it also makes them much faster, and it's just super useful.
Yeah,
We do
another
a
pot
pot
clip
clip
here.
here again.
It's also a one-frame window, so it can take a few attempts.
Yeah.
There we go.
And right here there's a mini boss room for Zoo, but we're not gonna fight him because his trigger is at the bottom of the screen, so we can just skip it this way.
Yeah, he's a mini boss that stops time.
And it can
Usually you
be
need,
really annoying.
Yeah, you usually need a item that lets you stop time as well to beat him, but what is this witch doing?
Just witch things.
Yeah, I swear the witches are programmed to just screw with you. And we're gonna fight Baphomet. One of the more difficult bosses in the game. So I'm gonna get a specific alignment here to stand in. On a specific set of pixels, and that way I can hit her with the backswing of my whip.
So like I said, the backswing of the whip is actually really strong, and with this alignment you basically avoid every attack she can throw at you with ease. So that's why you align to that position and use the backswing.
And
Because
the second phase is why she is actually difficult.
yeah,
Oh, I shot one shot too early. This is gonna be harder. No.
so in the second phase, Baphomet gets a lot of different attacks which do a lot of damage. So this is where you really want to avoid all the attacks, and
Yeah, that wasn't too bad though. Like 4 teleports, I think.
yeah, something like that.
The teleports, she has 6 different spots she can teleport to randomly, and like 4 of them are good for hitting her. Is it 6 or
Yeah.
8? I don't know, but yeah.
It's quite a few. But yeah, you basically want her to be low so you can hit her. Also, one thing we can do here is because all the boss rooms are in their own area, I guess, and you can basically get into the wall, and that happens. What you just saw.
Yeah, we do a little dead celebration.
Yeah.
Here we
So
get the
this
Lamp
is
of Time.
the Lamp of Time shop with the impossible puzzle. In the original game, this puzzle did not work. So what you could do to solve it was just jump towards the shop. But they fixed that, and if you try to jump towards that shop in this game, you will get zapped. But not only that, they actually put a physical barrier you cannot go through in front of the shop. But because we can just go to the right side of that, we can still enter the shop.
Yep. Yep, rain dropping. Very good
Yeah.
tech. I love it. This is the Gate of Illusion, and if you played this game, you probably hate this area. If you're gonna play this game, you're gonna hate this area. It's the home of some of the most obscure and hardest puzzles in the game.
Yeah.
But thankfully they're not gonna do a lot of... Yeah, it is very interesting, but we're not gonna do a lot of stuff actually.
Yeah.
Because coming in that way, we skip a lot of it, like most of it.
Yep.
We just do a few key puzzles required for some important stuff. Oh man, that lizard actually turned around.
Yeah, that's quite unusual.
Yeah, I thought I had the shield out, but I didn't.
Also, there's the Locapala from La-Mulana too. Just in the background. They were actually, when they released this game, they were actually already planning out the sequel to this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of different hints
Yeah.
and stuff to the sequel.
So right here we just used the Lamp of Time on the screen earlier, and if you use the Lamp of Time and then go to a different screen, if there's an object on that screen that normally has an object that basically can disappear, you can basically walk through it if the Lamp of Time is still active.
Yeah,
while you go
it
on the
loses
screen.
collision.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't buy that item. Hello. Give me that.
And
I'm pressing cancel
What?
instead of accept. Okay, here's another new glitch I'm gonna attempt.
can you
No.
actually tell if you got it?
Yeah, I can, but here we go, this is the right. It's a bit different from the normal setup for the ladder warp, because that one actually requires you to be 2 pixels inside, or 2 frames into the animation instead of 1. Otherwise you don't get enough height. How that, so ladder warp, how it works is that you trigger the... why are you throwing? God, oh, I'm taking so much damage, this is not good at all.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, but I need to do the lava dip after this.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I might have to change the route a bit, but the ladder warp, you start the ladder climbing animation and you warp out of it, and Lemessa actually finishes it after the warp, so you go through the floor because it puts you downwards. If I don't take damage here, I should be fine for the lava dip.
Yeah, so there's been quite a few recent-ish discoveries in this game that were found, I think, mostly by Algorithm.
Yeah, pretty much all of the new stuff was found by Algorithm. CS Guy used his stuff to do the Crystal Skull skip, but the tech behind it is by Algorithm.
And Ladder Warp is one of those things that it's just crazy to think how many weird glitches are in this game. We actually have a glitch guide for this game, and I think it's not been updated with the recent stuff, but it's already at like 14 pages.
Yeah, there's a lot
of funky stuff.
Some useful, some not.
Yep.
Some very specific, like niche users. This screen is completely random. I'm gonna have to kill 2 skyfish on the screen, and I got him. Good.
Yeah, sometimes these skyfish just can decide to not spawn at all.
Yeah.
Which makes it a bit annoying because you basically waste lamp charge on them.
Yeah,
But
then you
luckily
have
that
to
didn't happen.
load the save from the Braille tablet.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too far back, but it's still, you know,
Yeah, it's just
find
annoying.
what you don't want. So right
Just
here you're
avoiding
supposed to throw spears at the red devil statue there, but because we can raindrop, we can just skip it. right here we're gonna jump into lava. Normally, to reduce lava damage, you have to have the ice cape, but the game has this weird interaction between ladders that are partially submerged in lava, and if you
If you enter lava on the same tile as a ladder, it does a lot less damage. I don't know why, but it's just... I think it does even less damage than water.
Yeah, I think that's actually the case, yeah. You'll see how much damage lava does in just a second.
Yeah, I haven't just enough HP to survive the dip. Assuming I don't jump into the bombs, yeah.
Yeah.
Need to do another cat pause. Because there's a block puzzle on the screen and it takes a lot of time, so we're just gonna cat pause to get rid of the collision.
Yep. And it really doesn't matter how many tries this cat pause takes, because it's still faster than doing this puzzle.
Yeah.
Nice. Ah, you got the good block setup as well.
Yeah. You get,
Yeah, so...
you get it by waiting a certain amount of time during the cat pause.
Yeah, the collision becomes active at a certain... at the moment you unpause the game, and depending on when that is, things can fall in different places. And you basically, on that stream, you want to have the blocks not fall in your way. And now we're back here.
Yes. We need to read a tablet to gain knowledge on ancient La-Mulanis, because one version of La-Mulanis is not enough. We need to read enough of these ancient La-Mulanis tablets to be able to translate it.
The funny thing is that those glyphs are actually just mirrored, and I actually saw somebody figure that out on a blind playthrough, which was pretty amazing.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
There's a puzzle where I need to break all of the pots while the timer stopped. It's a pretty tight timing, but no problem.
And the funny thing is, the law for that room is you have to break the pots to make Pot Boy, who's the big statue in the room, to make him sad.
Yeah.
Which is...
You have to
just
break his
hilarious
toys.
that that's... Yeah, it's just hilarious that that's the actual in-game explanation for it.
Oh, yeah. This is gonna be a sloppy bar. I hope he gives me some nice patterns.
Yeah, so Ba just flies in random directions and he's a jerk.
Yeah, he's a jerk that killed me. He's a really hard boss.
Yeah. There are setups for him, but...
Yes, the setup is really precise and difficult.
Yeah. And he needs to behave as well. That's kind of the issue with him.
He does a lot of damage. Let's just try him again then.
Yep.
Bow, bow, bow. I missed one hit, but he's actually... He was being kinda nice, but damn, yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Yeah, Ba is a particularly annoying fight because, like I said, there is a setup for him, but it's extremely hard to actually pull it off.
Yeah.
And I think he does. I assume he does 32 contact damage.
Yeah, he does a lot of contact damage.
Yeah.
Like 20 HP is not enough to survive his contact hits.
Yeah.
Oh, I was even grinding this a bit before the run itself, but it is a hard boss. He's being nice again, but...
This entire run is pretty difficult in general.
Okay, like he's being a complete jerk.
Oh god.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Oh, I got a health refill.
Nice.
That's actually really good right now. Because I'm gonna do the weird thing, having good health as well. Oh.
Time for some fun stuff.
Yeah. We're gonna do some wonky stuff. But first we need to So we obtained the Cog of Soul, which creates life in the Chamber of Birth. It's a law thing. There's a lot of law in this game, and it's pretty mad as well, but you don't really have time to touch on it.
It's also crazy because a lot of the lore in this game is actually based on real-life mythology. So like, think back on like Egyptian mythology, Greek, all those things, Babylonian. It's all basically in this game in some form, and like you can just basically look up the name of any like enemy in this game, and there will be a Wikipedia page for it.
There's a trunk jumper or whatever. That's not in any mythology. So on those little circle things you can fill the Lamp of Time. It actually fills while you're browsing your inventory, so that's pretty useful. I need to do a... There we go. Do a little clip on the pot.
I think that was the object zip. Very good names altogether. But what happens is when you come off of that ladder right there, you are in a specific alignment, and that alignment allows you to walk into the object, and when you jump, it basically forces you up, and that just makes it really funky.
Yep. This is the Chamber of Birth. This is also a home to very obscure and difficult puzzles. For me it was harder than the Gate of Illusion, because a lot of the puzzles here relate to other stuff in other parts of the map. And
everything hurts.
Yeah, everything hurts a lot. This area is dangerous.
Are we gonna fight Skanda?
Yeah.
He's a good boy. His animations are the best, but we're not gonna see much of that.
Yeah, sadly. He's a
nice this lad. Guy... Yeah, he's a nice lad, and he has the derpiest face and animations. But
we just stop the time and, well, get rid of him.
Yeah, so Skanda is actually a really annoying fight to do, so we have to blend him. Right here we do a raindrop through a screen transition, and while that is happening, you have to keep swinging your weapon, because for some reason, if you do that, you will fall down slower than normally, or something like that.
I have no idea. It pushes you upwards on that raindrop, I think.
Okay. But the thing is, if you don't do it, you will sometimes fall out of the screen at the bottom, and then you're back at the surface.
Yeah, because there's no designated screen transition downwards from there, so you just go to the default field, which is surface.
Yep.
And doing that costs a lot of time. And we're gonna fight Vir. Well, technically we're gonna fight him.
Yeah.
That was actually a bad setup. I was too high up.
So there's a specific setup for this. I don't remember exactly how it works, but you basically get damaged while the summoning animation happens, after which you use the lamp, and then you can raindrop into the floor here, and as soon as V spawns, he's dead, technically.
Yeah, because how Vir works is he dies. He dies when you exit the screen, not when you actually defeat him. So by exiting the screen, going below him, you just defeat him immediately.
And it's just such a spectacular setup as well. Like it's one of my favorite things in this game. Like just how crazy some of the glitches look. And speaking of crazy glitches, I think we're coming up on one, right?
Not yet. If you name screen mash, it's not happening a bit. We have to wait 30 seconds on the screen. I was going to say something, but I forgot what.
There's a puzzle here for the woman statue. we need to turn the woman statue into the maternity statue, and well, I think we can all put one and one together here.
Should be done in a sec. Right, that's the maternity statue.
And with the maternity statue, we have to go to the Temple of Moonlight, where there's like a, I guess it's a womb. It's supposed to be that, I think.
It's a thing.
And we basically have to fall asleep with the maternity statue right there, and that opens up just to the ocarina.
Yeah.
And we need the ocarina at some point to talk to the philosophers.
Yeah, we're actually gonna immediately talk to 2 philosophers. Now we're just gonna sleep. That opens the chest.
And right here you see Timo using the Key of Eternity to actually do the raindrops there, because if he uses the weapon, that happens. He gets zapped.
Yep. I used the chapter to do a damage boost because this part is not very intensive on health management, so I don't really care if I take some damage there. Like there's one trick where you can die, but it dies whether no matter much health you have. Oh no!
Classic bats in this game. Uh-oh.
Everything is going horribly wrong.
The nice thing is that it resets the elevator cycle, so we don't have to wait for it to go all the way back up.
I think that was too low. You can jump on the elevator and go up there a bit faster.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
the
a
weird
pretty
thing
tough
about...
timing.
That's the weird thing about screen transitions in this game. If there's a screen transition up, the only way it works is if you are either on a ladder or on an elevator. And by jumping off of an elevator, the game is like, hey, you're on an elevator, but you're going through a screen transition. Oh, you should probably be able to go up here.
Yeah, we're gonna abuse that later on
Yeah.
for a pretty big skip. It's big if you get it on the first try. It's also really hard, so... It's like
So
one
the,
of the hardest setups in the game, and it's like an hour into the run. So that's a fun thing. Okay.
So the philosophers open up certain paths through the ruins, of which this is one. Normally you're supposed to solve a bunch of puzzles to actually go through those skull walls you see there, but because we can basically cheat and use raindrops to get through walls, that's not much of an issue here.
Yeah.
And these things here are supposed to crush you, but they sometimes don't.
It has to do, if you grapple the wall, you get put into the pixel alignment where you don't get crushed. And then if you jump on a specific timing, you just get zipped.
Yeah. And it actually zips you to a room where there's another important item that we have to pick up.
Yeah.
So it all lines up pretty nicely. And that room is sort of annoying to get to, I think.
I don't actually remember.
So we picked up Death Village right now. It's a piece of software when combined with Move, it gives you more iframes, which, you know,
Very good.
that's always welcome.
Yeah, we also bought a new laptop to be able to install more software.
Yeah.
It gives us more RAM. Download more RAM. I think that's actually a thing in the randomizer, you can download more RAM.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, right here we also use the lamp glitch to go through that statue you just saw there.
Yeah, that's a really big
this
sequence skip actually.
Yeah, it's a sequence skip that is coming up quite a bit later, but there's an endgame puzzle that involves 8 steps, but we skipped the first 2 or 3 of them by glitching through that statue right there. And I think it saves like a minute or so over the course of the run.
Not sure. I have no idea. I just play the game. I don't know what anything is.
It's a significant enough time game though, so we always go for that. And it's kind of a funny skip anyway.
So here we are collecting. We are doing stuff to collect an Ankh jewel, be able to fight the first boss of the game.
Yeah, so the Ankh jewels are...
What's this about? I'm actually gonna save so I don't waste weights.
Yep. So the Ankh jewels you get in this game are basically the thing that summons the boss. To summon a boss, you need the Ankh jewel, but you also need to summon the Ankh itself, and that's usually a different puzzle. But the Ankh jewels aren't actually tied to a specific Ankh, so you just use it whenever it is convenient.
Yep.
And yeah, so in this case we need to bring light to the grieving twins.
Yeah, that puzzle had me stumped for so long. Like it makes complete sense, the puzzle, but wait, I suppose I have to go through that again. Is this the fastest route back there? Yeah, I think so. I didn't jump, which... I didn't jump, it sent me upwards from the transition walk, and I got sent to the surface. And I wanna go there, because I need to read imaging. Okay, I'm just going for spaghetti right now.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things you actually have to keep track of in this run, so it gets a little bit overwhelming, and then at some point things like this will stop happening just because there's so much going on that you have to keep track of. It's like I think I mentioned earlier that there's about... Oh wait, I don't think I did. There's an auto splitter for this game, and the auto splitter itself has about 180 splits in it for a run that can be done in like 90 minutes, which is a lot. But the thing with the auto splitter is it only has the thing you actually have to do. You have to keep in mind specifically how to get there, which involves, okay, what screen do I warp to? What screen do I pass? And when you're passing a specific screen, there might be something you actually need to do on those screens. So there's a lot going on that isn't really visible, but rest assured, he's doing a lot of things at the same time.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff to remember, really.
Yeah.
And you go further and further and just get muddier in your head.
Yeah. This is not a game you can do like multiple runs in a day.
Yeah, that's like 2 runs is pretty much my limit. That's where my brain just overheats.
Yeah. So this area has a bunch of funky screen transitions again, which allows us to just go wherever we like, basically, without solving puzzles.
Yeah, I don't think I saw like a few puzzles there, like 3 or something in total. There's a lot of puzzles in that area.
Yeah. But we don't have to do them, luckily.
And that.
Whatever
you say about
jokes. Also, just earlier, you saw a big statue disappear. That was related to the point where we glitched through the tiny snake statue. Behind that big statue is actually a mantra tablet, and the mantras are the endgame puzzle, which we're gonna get to at some point.
Yeah, hopefully at some point.
This is Amphisbaena, don't blink, he's gone in a second.
That's what happens when you basically shoot a big snake with a gun, because this Stakram does as much damage as a gun.
Yeah, that's the thing with how open this game is. You can basically fight bosses whenever you basically like, and that makes certain bosses a big joke.
Yeah, but there's really hard bosses coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only bosses we have left right now are the really difficult ones.
Yeah. And there's some funky stuff coming up.
Yeah, so...
now it's time for screen mashing.
So this is a glitch called screen meshing. If you go through a screen transition while raindropping, you can basically grab onto the ladder while you're in the screen transition, and by doing so you get a trick called faster ladder. And you basically move faster on the ladder, and if you do so, and you do a few weird movements, you basically duplicate the screen. And this will have a funny effect, which you'll see right there. You basically are on 2 screens at once, and we can teleport objects.
I need to wait for the
You can
elevator.
Yeah, so you can basically bring objects with you to other screens. So, for example, that elevator right here, as long as we move into specific screens, the elevator will stay on screen, and we can just use it to glitch through walls like that.
Yeah, the screen mesh transfers the elevators with us. We're gonna use that later as well, combined with being able to jump to upward transitions on elevators.
And the funny thing is, Raindrop Rye actually found that glitch
it's
like
so
the day
funny.
before his run at AGDQ.
Yeah, that,
So-
that is a glorious bit in the VOD.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
Because the first time he used that was in the run on the marathon, so...
Yeah, but the setup back then was a bit different, and it wasn't as nice.
Oh, I didn't equip the talisman. I was wondering what is this man going on about?
Right here we're going through a loop of this area several times, because there's a couple of things we need to accomplish here. At the first loop we needed to get to the drill point just so we can teleport. Then we had to talk to Zelpot with the talisman equipped, just so he helps us out with a puzzle here, which you'll see in a second. He's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, this is the puzzle, but now that we've seen it, we need to talk to him again.
Oh yeah. So the second loop, you have to go to that screen to actually know that there's a thing there.
Yeah, the thing is that the thing you need to know that is in there is in a chest, so you don't actually physically see the thing, so... This is another point in the game that stumped me, because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, then I talked to Xelpod, like, after maybe 2 hours of running around, and he's just like, oh, you found the diary, and I'm like, what? I found the what now?
But yeah, there's a falling pillar in that room which blocks our entry to get the diary. So the second time we talk to him, he decides to help us out, and he gets crushed. Just kidding, he's unnaturally strong. Strong man, Zelpot.
He is very strong.
And then we go back to his tent again with the
Yeah,
diary.
he gives us the La-Mulana talisman, and now we're gonna do... Oh, I actually had it. I'm just gonna do a ladder walk here. And it's time for the menu boss and some more funky stuff.
Oof.
Wish me luck.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So this is a setup that is extremely convoluted, and if you press the wrong buttons at the wrong time, the game will crash. But it has a spectacular result
Payoff,
when
yeah.
we actually get to it. It looks...
Okay, I'm fine.
It looks extremely spectacular.
Wait, I'm not fine.
Oh.
Okay, I'm fine. Oh, that was scary. Yeah, because I'm navigating the shop without seeing it, and I don't want to press the wrong button or else horrible things will happen. Now I have the Ankh Jewel selected in the shop, and I'm gonna need to buy the Ankh Jewel to get an item obtained prompt and to be able to get an Ankh Jewel to fight the boss. Okay, this is the second part of this whole shebang. I need to cat pause using the inventory screen. Eventually. Okay, now I'm gonna select the scanner and buy the Ankh Jewel, and then I failed. So let's try that again. There's a 3-frame window to get. Yes, that is actually right. I need to go to the setup again for the.
So that
shopping.
trick sets us up to skip a item, which, I mean, the trick itself doesn't really. I don't think it saves that much time. But
It says
looks
45
really...
seconds.
Oh, that's okay. That's significant enough then. But yeah, this is where the menu boss comes into play.
Yeah, I'm actually losing time already from not getting the trick, but it's so cool. I just had to show it off, and I'm still good on time, so. Oh. Hello, can I get it? Oh, actually I want to do another thing. Just more setuping. Okay. Oh. There we go. I got it.
Nice.
So
what happens there is you cancel the item prompt in the middle of a screen transition, and that forces the game to do, I guess, 2 screen transitions at once. So we're on 2 screens again, and because there's the we get to the screen with an elevator from a different screen, and that allows us to jump through the entrance to the dimensional corridor, which normally requires you to pick up the crystal skull, but because we can just use that glitch to jump through a ceiling, we don't need it. But it's a difficult thing to actually set up.
Yeah, the setup is mental, and it's like at the ending part to the run, so.
Yeah.
Hey, can I read a donation?
Yeah, go ahead.
$5 from Kano that says Timo has huge hands.
So that's the kind of.
God damn it, kinda.
Big if true.
I just accidentally walked to the server.
We'll blame kinda low.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame kinda low.
Yeah, so we're in the dimensional corridor right now. This area has a bunch of mini-boss fights, and basically all the mini-bosses here are Tiamat's children, Tiamat being the end boss of this area. And you need to pick up the, what's it called, dimensional key to actually fight them.
You can fight them, but you can't defeat them, they keep respawning.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the dimensional key locks in Tiamat's power or something along those lines. And that's why we can actually fight them and defeat them. Some of them are actually really strong and do a lot of damage. And some of them basically just melt away. But we have to go through them all. And this is kind of a tough section of the game. Because of all the fights.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fights. I think like 8 or something. I can't remember.
I think it's
first cycle. Nice.
11. Nice. So that's a setup for that mini boss called Ushum, where you spam caltrops in his face.
Yeah, he doesn't have iframes, so
Yeah. so he basically just disappears.
And
This guy is extremely annoying, so we just use the Lamp of Time.
he has a
and takes
lot of
hit.
HP.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
with the strongest weapons in the game, he took that many hits. And in addition to that, he just sometimes goes flying around the screen while being invulnerable, so that's fun. So that's why you stop time here.
Yeah. And then you get to the merman and you just sit next to him and spam the fill whip and he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically how this game works. But yeah, there's a few fights in here that are actually pretty tough, so it's not an easy section of the game.
No. Well, there's no easy sections in this game. This game is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, that's true. So this
Also this
dwarf,
dog.
He's pretty okay. He's a good boy.
Yeah, another cat boss here to get rid of the collisions on the box again. But this one is doing upwards, which the timing is the same, but it feels different because the screen transition upwards. Okay, I need to concentrate on this.
Nice.
Ah, I missed one. Ah, that was almost perfect. Ah.
So that's a really good fight.
Yeah, it's so confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually like it's not a fight that's difficult in the sense that it takes a lot of how should I say it? It's not a fight where you take a lot of damage or anything. But it's a difficult fight to actually do like fast.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So this is Ridley. He's not as strong as in the Metroid games, luckily. Oh well, he's critically vulnerable to chakrams.
Yes. Which describes almost everyone in this game.
Yeah.
Oops. I wanted to try the quick kill there, but no.
So this is Mushisu. You're supposed to do a puzzle in this area to actually gain access to his room, but you know the drill. We can basically go through walls and floors and stuff, so we don't need to do the puzzle.
Also a pretty
he's
tough
the-
puzzle.
Yeah.
He's the final mini-boss we need to defeat.
Yep. He gives us the Angjul for this area. And, yeah, this boss fight is gonna be difficult.
Yeah, Tiamat is the hardest boss fight in the run, I'd say.
Yeah.
Hardest
I
to do
completely
really
agree.
fast, at least. The quick kill strat is extremely tight. So Caltrops boost on her shoulder and whisper sweet things with your whips.
Yeah, so there's actually a hitbox in her hair, which prevents you from using sub-weapons on, well, her face, but the whip reaches far enough that you can just whip her face off, and it does a lot of damage, so it's really fast.
Yeah, but just staying on her shoulder is a bit tough.
Yep.
And she
Tiamat's
has...
attack, as she progresses, her attacks get really strong.
Mm-hmm.
The waterfall attack you just saw, I think it would basically kill you right now.
Yeah, it would one-shot me. 3 hits is not bad on that. Yeah, this is the final phase now.
And this is her strongest attack. It's the hair laser thing. And those lasers, they will do like 120 to 160 damage, somewhere in that range.
Not that bad
Nice.
of a fight.
Nice.
Would have preferred it without the waterfall in the second phase, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it without dying. Like, if I don't die, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit concerned when you didn't go for the drill point there, because Tiamat is really tough and she she can screw your day up pretty badly.
Yeah. No, we're gonna buy a software that lets us download more software. And there's a little section where we need to do some movement while blind, basically, because we're gonna clip into this area where we can't see shit.
Yeah, so this is a backside path to...
Where am I? Oh, I'm still down.
It basically connects to areas up. And it's basically covered until you go through a specific hitbox on this ladder. But because we basically get in through a different way, we are blind in that section.
Yeah.
So here are the gatekeepers of hell. Gozu and Mezu, or Oxhead and Horseface, I think.
Oh, you actually remember which one is which?
No, I just guess.
Yeah, it's like Ox something and Face something.
It's a combination of Ox and Horse and Head and Face, but I don't know what the combination actually is. But they safeguard this particular screen. And we need to actually go there to use the Magatha module on the mural there, and that allows us to actually download software. Ancient software even.
Mm. Do more stuff. Need to light this up. I forgot to switch my sub-weapon in advance, so I spent some time there. Switching sub-weapons is a whole ordeal in this game.
Yeah, so there's a lot of menuing that you have to do in this game, and there is actually menu strats in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it actually takes skill to menu in this game. Like we mentioned earlier that if you do the remote shopping thing, you can crash easily. But when it comes to regular menuing, the cursor is a bit weird, and by pre-selecting specific weapons and sub-weapons, you can make it a lot faster. But it's kind of difficult to keep track of, because it's one of the 2 billion things you have to keep in mind.
This is why we get the Angel Shield. Well, there's other reasons technically, but this is the biggest one, because you can't block that laser unless you have the strongest shield in the game. Actually, there is a strat to do that with Silver Shield and Caltrops, but it's mental.
Basically that's only.
It's
practically
absolutely insane.
You can do it as a human, but it's so hard to do that. Yeah, we basically consider it a death only strat. It's not something you would ever do in a run. Right now we're on our way to Palanque, which is
the final boss. Actually,
an interesting boss, and it
really random.
I hope he's gonna be gentle and not crash. I'll knock on wood.
I have never had him crash on me.
Oh, that's
Okay, the strat here is just to throw chakrams at him. There's a specific place where you can hit his hitbox twice, but I'm not really sure where that is. I just hope I get it. He's being really nice, actually.
Yeah.
He was really nice.
That's a really good Palanque fight.
Mm-hmm. He was so merciful. Because he can do these charges where he charges towards you. It does a whole lot of damage, and you can't do anything to him while he's doing that.
He completely bothers you when he does that.
Mm-hmm. But
So
he was being nice.
with Palanque down, I think that's all the bosses
Yeah,
down.
that's all of the Guardians of the Ruins down.
So we're basically in the endgame now. Endgame does a few interesting things. It changes the surface music to begin with. It also unlocks an optional area in the game, which is really it's a really interesting area. You should definitely play it if you have played this game.
Yeah.
It's
Hell
difficult.
Temple is fun.
But, yeah. But before we can actually finish the game, we need to do the mantras, and earlier on we were on the screen and we zipped through the statue here, and that allowed us to skip the first 2 or 3 mantras. But before we can actually use the mantras, we have to fight this boss, Nua, and she gives us the jet pillar, which allows us to actually chant the mantras.
Yeah. She's trying to have a rave with her weird glow stick crowbar,
Yeah.
but we don't take any of that here.
Yeah. So in this area, we actually need to actually chant certain mantras for these enemies because they are like evil or something. I don't know. It's a puzzle, and we need to get the medicine, and we do so by chanting certain mantras at those enemies. And then conveniently, the mantra we picked up way before we could actually normally pick it up is actually on that screen. So we get a lot of things done in a short time frame.
Yep, that's a really convenient set of actions there. And
So I see
the
somebody
next
mention-
mantra is right here.
Yeah. So I see somebody mention sadly no Hell Temple in any percent. Well, have I got good news for you? There's a category for this game called 100% all characters ending, which has to go to Hell Temple. Like, you absolutely have to go through it. So if you like Hell Temple, that's a good category to run or watch, or whatever you want.
Yeah, the routing for that is absolutely mental, like...
Yep.
Oof.
Like, this route is already mental, but add another hour to the run and yeah, it
just-
breaks your mind.
Absolutely insane. Oh yeah, I forgot where to go. Now I remember.
So yeah, this is basically the place where we basically do a bit of cleanup with the mantras, and
Oh,
we also I think the only thing left after the mantras is getting a few items in the shop, and then it's off to the final area.
yeah, we run past the key sword, which is required to trigger the final boss. It's a
But
whole
first
lot
we
of
still
stuff.
need to
Yeah.
do the final mantras.
I
There's
think
8
that
in
was a bit
total,
too
but
long.
they decided to only check if you've done the last one, which is extremely convenient.
Yeah, this set of actions we're doing here wouldn't be really possible without that little convenience. I mean, it would just include doing a few extra mantras, but
Yeah.
why do them if you can not do them?
I mean, the mantra process is pretty much the same for everything anyway. So, like from the perspective of the run, it doesn't really add anything.
Also, the mantra menu is really wonky. It's
Like most menus.
yeah, but the mantra menu especially infuriates me.
I don't know actually
It
what's
just
wrong
feels,
with it.
yeah, it just feels so sluggish. Sometimes you don't actually select stuff. And we need all the Grail tablets as well to be able to trigger the final boss, so we're just gonna grab this.
Well, I think you can technically trigger the final boss without getting all the grails, but you just get booted out. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, you can fight the first phase.
Yeah.
Literally the first phase.
Yeah, so the final boss has multiple phases.
5,
And-
I think.
Yeah. And in the first phase, you have to have certain requirements met. And if you don't have them, the game basically just kicks you out of the fight.
Yeah, I was
and
so
then you're like-
confused when I was trying to fight her. I was like, hello?
Yeah.
I'm doing
Yeah, so
something
the-
wrong.
So the two things you need for the final fight is you need to have scanned all the grill tablets, and you have to have the right medicine. If you don't have either of those, or if you have the wrong medicine, it just kicks you out and consumes the medicine conveniently. But yeah, that's something we're gonna be seeing soon. We're heading off to the final area right now.
Yep. Gonna get a healing fairy on the screen because the final area is brutal. Oh, key fairy. Hello.
What key fairy?
Hello.
So this is the silly thing about this game in its current state. Like, we used to need the key fairy for the run, and it would never show up. And now that we don't need her, she just shows up when we don't need her.
Yeah, it is funny like that.
It's so annoying.
Thank you, Mr. Bat. Thank you, Mr. Bat.
Bats. Always fun.
Everyone's arch nemesis.
Yep.
This is a screen with fun mini bosses, but who gives a damn?
Yeah. I mean, we can basically go through the crown, so why care?
This screen is hell if you get knocked down.
It's kind of
because
interesting.
it's annoying.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting though, because we're gonna be zipping through the floor here. We first are gonna enter the normal shrine, but we jump back up to the room, and then we use the ladder to go down, and now suddenly we're in the true shrine, which is the actual final area of the game. It's weird.
You have you have to enter the true shrine through a proper screen transition. It doesn't like accept any of our bullshit.
Yeah.
Hello.
But this area is really tough to actually go through.
Yeah, everything does a whole lot of damage, and movement is really hard.
There is a thing you can do where you use the lamp of time to get an infinite lamp thing. So when you use the lamp of time, am I?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you use the lamp of time and you do a laptop glitch, the lamp of time timer will not count down, so you can use it for however long you want. And basically, when you do that, this entire area becomes free. But we kind of need the lamp charge for other things later, so that's currently not in the route. But that's a safe thing you could technically do.
Yep. Thank you. I hate that shaman.
Those monkeys are so infuriating. They can also softlock you on the screen.
It's actually the bat that does that too.
Yeah. So right here we are just gonna walk by Beelzebub. You're supposed to fight him, but you can just use the lamp past him. Interestingly enough, they actually fixed this for the Switch release of this game. And yeah, it's kind of weird how they did that, but it's probably a good thing.
And I loaded the save to reset the lamp, because if you load the save while you have the lamp on, you get the lamp charge back. So I guess we're gonna need the lamp. It's a nice thing to do. I hope I get this swag. No, I didn't get the swag. There's a really funny strat you can do here. I didn't get it. I'm gonna get whipped. Oh. Body health? Yeah. I'm fine.
I'm scared.
For 34? This is gonna cut it so close. There's a phase in the final boss where you're underwater, and it's not very nice. But this should be enough HP.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, this is the final boss.
So this is the first phase. First phase really doesn't do much.
Okay, now I don't have enough health.
It normally doesn't do much. But
They just denied me completely. It's been a while since I've been hit by the cheese balls.
But yeah, that phase, basically once you finish that phase, it will check if you have the medicine of the mind and all the drill tablets. And if you don't, that's when you get booted out. And you'll be very confused when that happens.
Mm-hmm. I re-scroll the screen here to skip the fairy animation.
Yep.
They do a whole bunch of stuff there, like a whole dance and shebang. I don't actually remember what they do. But...
Yeah, I don't either. I've always just lamp-glitched past it.
The boss way. Oh, this time I'm on better HP, so...
Yeah. So
with Paul medicine and some grail water on her.
yeah, so this basically summons the physical manifestation of Mother. And this is the first phase where she actually does something more than shoot cheese balls at you. But with a bit of setup, you can easily fight that phase. So this is the third phase.
Yep.
And she moves around annoyingly. So you have to time your jumps correctly. And then you can attack her and melt her.
Caltrops.
Fourth phase just melts because of the caltrops. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Normally when you attack it, it moves away, but with the caltrops it has no chance to do so. And now we're on the actual final phase of the mother fight.
Oops.
And she actually has multiple phases within this phase. Every time you see a tablet appear in the middle, she gains a new attack, and if she has more than 3 attacks, she forgets the last attack or the first attack she got. And she basically uses the boss's attacks. And
This is all kinds of messed up.
But there's a
that fight was messed up because you manipulate her by being in specific positions for specific attacks. Oh wow! How did I gain? How did I gain free movement then? Okay. I'm not even gonna attempt this damage boost. It's really tight. Oh, I'm still good on time. Oh.
wow.
Rude. That was rude.
That's typical.
Yeah. Oops. Oh, we're gonna hear more of the kick-ass music in the mother fight.
Yeah.
It's actually a remix by Matchtower that I have there. It's really mad.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny Edmund does some really good remixes of game music. It's definitely worth checking out.
Let's
And
not
the funny
die.
thing is, I don't think he even really knows the game.
No, he just got requested and I was like, yep, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, he really loves the soundtrack, which is pretty cool. Nice.
Pretty merciful for second phase.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to get back to the fifth phase of the mother fight. One of the funny things about the mother is that she is actually the entirety of the ruins until you summon her here, which is something we haven't really talked much about the lore because there's not a lot of time to talk about those things. But the mother is actually the entirety of the La-Mulana ruins, and she wants to go back to space. And that's why she creates various civilizations to do so, but they all fail, and then she tries to destroy him. That's basically La-Mulana in a nutshell.
This is the worst couple of model fights I've had in a good while. Okay. Now we're back on track.
Yeah, so Mother has a
There we
quick
go.
kill. It's very consistent. At some point during the fight, you can do a quick kill on her, and it's really easy to kill her that way.
Yeah, I failed the manipulation at one point because I was too far away to do the backswing of the weapon. She does a lot of contact damage. I didn't want to hit her, so I was a bit too careful. But well, I eventually defeated her. It's been a while since I've actually died to that fight. But the game is not over yet. We need to escape the ruins first. And well,
Classic Metroidvania.
and the escape sequence is pretty funky.
Yeah,
Because,
so we are just gonna go say goodbye. You would think that you have to go and reach the surface area of the game, but that is actually not the case, which is pretty funny because a lot of people will try to go to the surface area on the first escape, but you'll find out that all of the entrances to the ruins are blocked off. Instead, what you need to do is we need to reach Mulbrook.
Ah, we went overestimate. Nice.
Well, oh well.
Yeah, happens.
It's a tough game.
Yeah, we're almost done anyway.
I dare you at home to do better.
Oh. Hello? I'm in a hurry, don't smack me.
Yeah, so this escape route is really funky, but it's such a nice and fast way to actually get to the end, so it's, yeah.
Yeah, another lamp glitch, and we're closing in on time. It's just the next screen and then entering the door. Time is coming up. And that's time.
Nice.
Woohoo!
GG.
Yeah, that run was something. That was a disaster, but it seems my
It's
every
fine.
marathon run is a disaster. When I did practice runs earlier, it was like, yeah, sure, 130, 130, 129. I'm good. Yeah, well,
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's how marathon runs are supposed to go, I guess.
yeah, that's speedrunning.
Don't worry about
That's
the
lamb.
estimate, but
Yeah.
you are now banned.
Well, it was nice knowing you all.